This video I'm going to show you how to, as a Zoom host, set up and then open up breakout rooms and move people into those breakout rooms, and then the options that you have available as a host. And I'll talk a little bit about what it looks like from a participant point of view when you're in a breakout room. So the first thing to notice with Zoom is that the breakout room option is not enabled by default, so you need to turn it on, otherwise you'll never be able to create breakout rooms. And you can create breakout rooms whether you've got a free account where you're limited to 14 minutes or you've got a paid account. So you can have breakout rooms, you just need to turn it on. So to turn it on, you need to be logged into Zoom, into your Zoom portal, so not within the Zoom app, but the Zoom web portal. So I'm into the Zoom account, I've logged into my account over here within settings, and then in meeting advanced, if I click on there, it takes me down to these advanced options, one of which is the breakout room. So here it's turned on, and what that means is that the breakout room button appears within my Zoom window. If that's turned off, you don't see it, and therefore you can't ever create breakout rooms. There is another option here to think about. One of the features of Zoom, it allows you to pre-assign breakout rooms when you're setting up the meeting. So you can set up a meeting, you can think about the names of the rooms that you want and how many people, and then start to allocate people who've registered for the Zoom session to those rooms. I've never used it. I prefer to set this up once I'm in the meeting itself, but having this option turned on allows me to do that or not when I'm setting up the meeting. So I'm all set to go. If I go into Zoom now, so I'm in Zoom, and I'm already running a meeting as the host, and I've got this breakout room button down here. The breakout room option shows at the bottom of the screen if I'm not sharing a screen. If I'm in screen share mode, if I share a screen for a second, let's do that one, then the breakout room option appears up at the top here. So breakout rooms appears there. So it's the same, exactly the same option. It's just depending whether you're showing or not as to where it appears. So I'm now within the main session again. I'm going to set up my breakout room. So this is almost what I'm doing 15 minutes before the meeting starts. I'm setting up various things, including the breakout rooms. So when I go into breakout rooms here, it asks me about the number of breakout rooms. So at the moment I've got no participants at the moment, but I can start to set up how many rooms I want. So maybe I'm anticipating 30 people. I want 5 in each room, so I'll create 6 rooms. And that will then create those 6 rooms with default names. If I choose manually, then and automatically means that it will just allocate those people into those rooms automatically. If you use manual, then you'd need to start moving them around. So if I then create the breakout rooms, what it's done straight away, it's created these breakout rooms for me with default names. You can then change these around. So if suddenly I have less participants and I don't need breakout room 6, I can do that. So I can change that, and I can rename. And one of my tips here is if you're doing something like TetraMap or other similar models, what you would do here, I would do here, if I was going to do some kind of 4-corner type activity, I would rename each of these rooms to my element types, fire and earth. Then when people, what I would also encourage people to do within their Zoom setting, if I come out of there a second, I've got a participant who's just joined. What I would encourage them to do is go into their participant menu. So everybody has a participant menu. They can go in here and they can click along their own name, and they could rename themselves. So what I would do if I was doing something like TetraMap is say to participants, could you all go into the participants menu? Can you find your own name? Click on the More button and then rename yourself and add your TetraMap element. This could be Myers-Briggs or Insights or whatever to the end of your name, so I can quickly see who is what element type. So that means then when I come to do my equivalent of a 4-corner exercise and go to breakout rooms, and I want to assign, I can start at the top here, assign. Okay, so he's not going to go in that one, but I will move him into that group. So he'll be with all the other waters. So that's the way that works. If you haven't gone through and renamed all of these and you just stick to the default names, it will just automatically move people randomly into different rooms. So a couple of options there. So in a second, when I open the rooms, remember at this point nobody has gone to a room, we're just setting all of this up. So this is something that I would also do as a co-host, or if I'm being a producer or have a producer, they will be doing this behind the scenes whilst the main facilitator is talking, because it's a bit difficult to do all of this and talk. So that's all ready to go. A couple of options to notice in here. Move all participants into breakout rooms automatically. With this option turned on, when I open the rooms, it just moves everybody to their relevant room. They have no choice. The participant gets a message to say the host would like you to join room X. They can either say later, in which case they stay in the main plenary room, or they can say, yes, I will go to that room, or something like that. So it depends what you want. I'll leave that into automatic. This option here, allow participants to return to the main session. If that's turned on, participants have a leave breakout room option within their breakout room. And if they hit that, it will allow them to land back in the main session and join the host or anybody else who's in the main session. If that's turned off, they only have a leave meeting option. So if they hit that whilst they're in a breakout room, it says, you're about to leave the meeting altogether, are you sure? And they can either stay within the breakout room, or they can leave the meeting altogether. A couple of other options. You can set a timer so Zoom closes the rooms automatically after a given time. You can have a notification to use the host when the time's up. Countdown after closing breakout rooms. So once you hit the close rooms button, it will send out a timer message to all the breakout rooms saying the breakout room is about to close automatically, and you'll be returned in 15 seconds, then it will start to count down. So you can set that to a time that you would like. So we're all ready to go. And what I need to do now is open all rooms. So if I click that button, what's happening on the participant menu is, the participant screen is, it's saying you are joining breakout room 1 or joining the water breakout room, whatever that is. So everybody's now gone to the rooms. If there was somebody who joined late, they will kind of hover around in the main room, and then I would need to assign them to a room. So participants are off in their room. They can video chat to each other. They can use audio. They can share whiteboards. All of that is private within each breakout room. So as the host, unless I choose to join a room, I will not know what's going on in any of the breakout rooms. It's all private, even the chat function. So participants need to be aware of that. They can't chat to you as the host. What they can do is, if they're stuck, they can ask for help. So they have an option within their menu to say ask for help, and when I as a participant, when they hit that and say invite host, I get this message as the host saying this person in the water breakout room essentially has asked for help, and I can either choose to say later, in which case they get a message saying the host is busy helping others, please try again later, or I can join the breakout room. So if I choose to join that breakout room, as it shows here, I'm moving in there, and I'm now in the breakout room. So here, water is the breakout room name. I'm in the breakout room there. So I'm like another participant in here, so I can turn on my camera, I can talk to the other participants, I can see the participants within the room. If I use the chat function, it's to the people within this breakout room. So I can help them out. And when I've finished helping them, I can leave that breakout room and return to the main session. I can also join a breakout room without having been asked for help first. I'm now back in the main session. So if I go into breakout rooms and I want to move to the Earth room to see what's happening there, I can just hit join. I don't think anything will happen here, will it? Oh yeah, it does, even though there's nobody in that room, but it takes me to that breakout room, so I could help them. So I can drop in and out of rooms. So once, let me go back to the main session, leave the breakout room, and I'm now back in the main session. The other couple of options you can have as a host whilst breakout rooms are running, if I go back into here again, I can send a message to all breakout rooms to save all your work on a shared whiteboard or whatever. So you can send them a message. So when I hit broadcast, that will go out and appear at the top of the screen to everybody in the breakout rooms. It disappears automatically after a few seconds. So I can remind them to do things if I've forgotten to set them up before I go to the rooms. once I'm getting ready to bring everybody back to the main room, as soon as I hit close all rooms and then confirm it, it will send out a timer countdown to say you will be automatically returned to the main session when this timer gets to 0. So I might want to pre-warn people, in 2 minutes I will close the breakout rooms. So that just gives them a 2-minute warning rather than just a 30-second, 15-second warning straight away. So I've given them that 2-minute warning. And again, I could remind them to save everything if they're going to share some of the work back in the main room. But once I'm ready to bring everybody back, then I choose close all rooms. All breakout rooms will close and it's counting down. In the breakout rooms, they get a dialog box showing that they can hit leave now, so they don't want to wait for the timer to count down. Any one person in a breakout room can choose to leave the room at that point, and they'll end up back in the main session. So that's it. I think that's everything I need to tell you about breakout rooms. The best way to practice this is to set up a Zoom meeting on one PC or Mac, and then if you've got an iPad or an iPhone or another PC or a Mac, then just join that meeting. So as long as you know the meeting ID, so let's imagine that this is my host meeting and I want to test out breakout rooms to see what it looks like from a participant point of view. I've got another laptop next to me. So on that other laptop, I'd go into Zoom, join the meeting, and all I need to know is the meeting ID. So if I enter this meeting ID and the password, and it always shows in the top left-hand corner, on that other laptop, Mac, iPhone, iPad, I can join the meeting as a participant, and then I can start playing around with breakout rooms. So hitting the button here, this is all the host stuff, but then you'll start to see what it looks like from the other end as a participant. And it's just a great way to practice breakout rooms. So hopefully that is helpful. If you need any help, give me a shout. I'm more than happy to help. And if you've enjoyed this video, please share with others or subscribe to my channel.